The preseason AP poll was released yesterday, and these are just some of my thoughts when taking a look at it. I think the teams that are ranked 1st through 10th are fine. I like the group of teams that are in that ranking. However, I think teams 1 through 4 are very interchangeable. I would have had Clemson as my #1 team going into this season, with Texas at the #4 spot. Now, I know the voters had Texas beating out Penn State for the #1 ranking by just 5 first place points. So we should be keeping an eye out for how the teams are receiving votes as games are being played throughout the season. Ohio State at 3 instead of 2 kind of robs us of our first ever week 1 matchup between #1 and #2 in the country. Georgia at #5, I've seen Bulldog fans reacting by saying, why are people sleeping on Georgia? I don't think anybody's sleeping on Georgia. If they had been ranked 18th, then maybe the voters would have been sleeping on them, but they're ranked 5th. And I think that's a good spot for them. The interesting factor about Notre Dame, Oregon, and Alabama is that they are returning a lot of talent each, but they are all bringing in brand new quarterbacks this year. Ty Simpson has already been named the starter for Alabama, and Notre Dame is currently having their quarterback battle as we speak. A very talented LSU team sits at the 9th spot, with post-Cam Ward Miami sitting at 10th. Remember, they do have Carson Beck now. However, teams ranked 11th through 25 is where it really starts to get interesting for me, at least, because there's a lot of uncertainty with every single one of these teams. There's a really high ceiling for a lot of these teams, and there's a really low floor, I think, for a lot of these teams. Florida's ranked 15th, and I think they're going to be pretty dang good this season, but if they end up losing a lot of those tough games down the stretch, they're going to drop. Tennessee is sitting at 24th, and if they had been able to retain their team after the spring, they would be ranked a lot higher than they are, but I don't think the voters have a lot of confidence in Rocky Top at the moment. Ole Miss at 21, they are also kind of in a rebuilding year, reloading year. I personally don't know if Illinois is the 12th best team in the country, so we will have to see down the stretch. SMU at 16th, yes, they did lose some talent across the board, but they are bringing back Kevin Jennings, and I do think they will have another opportunity to make the college football playoffs down the stretch if the ball bounces their way. Kansas State at 17th is a good spot for the Wildcats because so far with Avery Johnson, they've been able to work their way into situations where they could have won games, but due to inexperience, I don't think they were able to pull that off. Well, they're coming back this year, and I think they might be able to slip into the playoffs at the end of the year. 18 and 19, Oklahoma and Texas A&M. These are two teams that are kind of twins right now to me. Oklahoma has quarterback John Mateer, while A&M has quarterback Marcel Reed. A&M is returning a lot of talent as well. I do think they'll have the opportunity to move up the board. I'm not really sure about Oklahoma. And Boise State sitting here in the top 25 is kind of a deja vu moment that we sort of have every year when it comes to these preseason rankings, because other G5 teams, of course, will make their way into the top 25 as the season progresses. Boise State is sitting there. They made the playoffs. They lost Ashton Genty, but I think 25 is just right for them.